Good morning, guys. It's restart that. No, we're not restarting. We're living with it. Good morning, guys. My name is Ron. I'm your local resident bug. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're doing a quick Liael Amorta deck profile. We just got the Liael Draconis reveal this morning, as of a little bit ago, not too super long ago. I literally just got done looking at all the cards, what they do, and what's exciting. But today we're just going to go ahead and do final Amorta profile, where are we at before that deck comes out, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. But first and foremost, I do not have the money for Teeth Fault. I didn't have the money for Teeth Fault, and I didn't think I was going to care about this deck as much as I do back when I first got it, so it's going to sound like really crazy and really silly, but yeah, I got Frame Rare Amorta, but I didn't get Teeth Fault because, prioritize the bling? I don't know. Either way, this deck is really fun. I think it's one of the few combo-centric type decks that have come out in Standard that includes multiple Vanguard swings and multiple Rearguard swings. But like to the point where you can get like an insane amount of swings if you play your cards right. I used to play a different variant of the deck where you would search out the one grade 2 that on place calls something else off of the top 3, and I don't remember what it was called, but basically I wanted to maximize my attacks, but now but there's more support, so we've gotten to more stuff. So that being said, let's get right into the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you for watching. So good morning, welcome over to the deck profile itself. Like I said, this is a Liael Amorta deck profile, last one before we get into Liael Draconis. I'm excited for Draconis. I think she looks really fun, she looks gorgeous, but I've had a lot of fun with Liael Amorta just so far, so I wanted to kind of discuss my thoughts on the deck, where we're currently at, and that type of jazz. So grab your energy generator and let's get right to it. So starting off, we've got our grade 0 Wings of Aspiration Soel. It doesn't really matter who you choose as your grade 0. I just really like Soel. I think he's cute. I mean, look at him. He's just a little guy, and I don't really like the cherub that the deck got, but just pick one. Keter Sanctuary, grade 0, it doesn't really matter because all they really do is when wrote upon if you went second draw. Getting into the grade 1, we're running Player of the Levy Harp, Dorfus. I think I've seen a couple deck profiles where people run like a different grade 1, but I don't remember, and nor do I really care because I like this card. I think it works really well. When it's wrote upon by the grade 2, Soul Blast 1, draw 2 cards, choose up to 1 normal unit from your hand, discard it. If you did not discard a normal unit, choose 2 cards from your hand and discard them. So we're kind of like looking at a Ranker Chain type of vibes, draw 2, discard 1 for a Soul Blast. So it's in my opinion a really good card. So I think it's worth your time and soul. Getting into the grade 2, we've got Player of the Beautiful card, Elginia. Elginia, I don't know. She's beautiful. She really is. When it's wrote upon by the grade 3, When this unit is wrote upon by a grade 3 card with Liael and its card name, choose any number of normal units from your drop zone, put them on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you chose 3 or more cards, draw a card. So your ride line draws you an additional card, and an additional card if you really need from your grade 2 or from your grade 0 of you going second. So you're getting a lot of card draw out of here, but that's good because you don't have a ton of board building, I guess is what I should say. At the very least, not in my build, not without Teeth Fault. So then here's the star of the show. Fated One of Time, Liael equals Amorta, or Liael Amorta. I just call her Liael Amorta. it's not equals, it's hyphen, so Liael Amorta. This card is gorgeous. I think this is probably one of the most beautiful frame rares I've ever seen, and I just had to have it. Especially because at the time of getting it, it was like $50 because the deck was bad, and now the deck's alright. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't think it's that good, but I don't think it's bad. So you've got 3 abilities. 1, when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, choose one of your rear guards, bind it, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name as that card, call it to rear guard circle, and shuffle your deck. So there's your multi-attack, pretty standard right there, yeah. Then, when this unit is put on Guardian Circle, cost, discard a card from your hand and put 2 cards from the bind zone on the bottom of the deck in any order. Choose one of your units with Faded 1 in its card name, and it cannot be hit until the end of that battle. So this card is a PG that gets through Guard Restrict unless your Guard Restrict is grade 1 or greater. Cards cannot be put on the Guardian Circle, so really, really good to have this card additional. And when we get to Draconis, of course, I'm going to run a couple copies of her because duh. And lastly, Divine Skill, Auto, Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle this unit attacked. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose a card with the same card name as this unit from your drop zone, and you may ride it as stand. If you rode, that unit gets drive -1 until end of turn. So, we've got our ride line, we've got our characters introduced. Let's get right into the rest of the deck. So getting into the grade 3s, you've got 3 more copies of Persona Ride because Persona! I don't know, man. You just want to make sure you Persona Ride. Then we've got Radiance Caliburn. This card is really good because 1, you can put it to soul and countercharge, which is really good for the deck. It uses a lot of counterblast, it uses a lot of soul. Good for the deck to have that. Or you can draw 2 cards, and if you're in a bad spot where like you don't have anything to call to your field, drawing 2 cards can be helpful. And then because of the bind skill and the way that it works, we're running 4 copies of Blessed Dragon Gabrielius. I'm sorry, I wish we could run less. Currently it's like a $40 card. I hope they reprint it with like the next festival collection or something. But yeah, that's where we're at, because Gabrielius is broken and you have to run it unless he gets, I don't know, restricted, but I don't see them doing that because he's crazy and restricted to 2 specific units. Actually, now I'm curious, because this says damage zone is for Vanguard of Faded 1. I think the other Liael did say Faded 1. I'm just going to quickly check while I've got my computer here, so pause for 1 second. Bear with me. Yeah, Faded 1 of Sacred Time. Okay, cool, we're good. So Gabrielius is still going to work in the next deck, so I'm sorry about how pricey he is. So he's got 2 abilities. 1, auto when placed on rearguard circle, Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top or bottom of your deck. If you put it on the bottom of the deck, this unit gets power plus 5k. Cool, so you get to check for triggers, and then do your thing. Then auto rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if your damage zone has 4 or more cards until the end of the battle, this unit gets power plus 5k. Then, if this unit was placed on rearguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard with Faded 1 in its card name this turn, and no drive checks were performed for the battle that your rearguard attacked this turn, counterblast 1, this unit gets power plus 5k, drive -1 instead of 5k, and then it performs drive checks. So, you get to add an additional drive to your already pretty crazy combo turn, and we'll do a brief little show of what that combo turn will look like later. But getting right into the grade 2s, we're going to start off with 4 copies of Sword Saint of Itinerant Idiras. He's a really strong card, very worth your time. He's also pretty. He's got 2 abilities. 1, continuous rearguard circle during your turn if your bind zone has a card with the same card name as this unit. This unit gets power plus 10k. Then, when this unit is bound from rearguard circle during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name, Soul Blast 1, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets power plus 5k until end of turn. So, With the new Liael, this card is going to go back up in price, but with the old Liael, you're basically just running this instead of Teeth Vault, because Teeth Vault is still pricey. So then, getting into the rest of the grade 2s, not the rest of, but like the next set of grade 2s, we've got Knight of Brightblade Religal, or Religial. I swear English is my 15th language. She's gorgeous. I love her as well. You know, really getting into like a Jewel Knight kind of aesthetic. I vibe with it. She's got 2 abilities as well. One, auto rearguard circle, or auto when this unit is placed on rearguard circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name. Soul Blast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 3 or greater card with Liael in its card name, or 1 Blessed Dragon God Willius from among them. Reveal it, put it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Cool. So top 7 for your Persona Ride, for your PG once we get to Draconis, because obviously your Persona Rides are going to be Draconis or Amorta, or Gabuelius, which is one of your best attackers. Yeah, really, really good searcher. Then continuous rearguard circle during your turn. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name, this unit gets power plus 5k. If your rearguard circle or bind zone has a Blessed Dragon Gabuelius, this unit gets power plus 10k instead of 15, or instead of 5, excuse me. So it's a same size attacker as Idiras, which is good because obviously. Then lastly, we are running 3 copies of Wisdom of Beginning that cleared the world. Play this order with Counterblast 1, draw 2 cards, choose 2 cards from your hand, call them to rearguard circle if the grade of each of them is less than or equal to your Vanguard, undiscard them if not. So, just really good early game, late game stuff. You've got power to your Vanguard, plus powerful rearguards, deck searcher plus powerful rearguard, early game enabler that'll allow you to draw a crap load of cards, more than you'll ever need, so that's fun, right? Getting into the grade 1s. We're going to start with 4 copies of Grogaion. I love this little puppy. He's a good little guy. He's terrifying, and don't look at his feet too much because then you'll cry. He's got 1 ability. If your unit was placed by the ability of your Vanguard with a Divine Skill this turn, this unit gets auto rearguard circle at the end of the battle it boosted. Retire this unit, countercharge 1, and power plus 5k. 13k booster, and it's your countercharger. The only downside is that it doesn't go to soul like Bubble Mine, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. So then we're going to get into 3 copies of Sergeon. This card is always on this back and forth of will she, won't she with the ban list, so we'll see if they choose to just hit it eternally, or if they're going to, you know, maybe just hit it in the good decks, whether it be Reziel, maybe eventually Liael. Who knows, man. When this unit boosts, if you have more rearguards than your opponent, or you played an order this turn, this unit gets power plus 5k until the end of that battle, and then at the end of the battle, retire this unit, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it to hand, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck. It's really good card draw, especially early game. It'll help big time. If you get lucky and you see it in your early game, you want to call it to field and try and play the order to get a ton of jazz going, because then you can retire it and then bot deck it with your ride line, especially if you get multiple copies, to be able to play it again in the late game. So very worth your while. Really good card. 13k booster again. Then we've got 2 copies of your boy Magic of Stimulants Euphoria, or Euphoria. Dude, these names, they're killing me. She's got 2 abilities. 1, continuous during the battle this unit boosted. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name, this unit gets power plus 5k. Then auto rearguard circle. When this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael, this unit gets 2k, so you'd say 15k booster, until end of battle. And then you can cost Soul Blast 1, choose up to 1 card with the same card name as any of your units from your drop zone, put it on the bottom of the deck, choose one of your units, and it gets power plus 5k until end of turn. Why are we running 2 copies of this, you may ask? It's because a lot of the time when you get to your Divine Skill turn, you may or may not have drawn into too many copies of, I don't know, Gabuelius and need to fix it. So, yay! Yay for fixing! Woohoo! It's, yeah. The giving a power plus 5k to any of your units is pretty nice, because then you can choose like one of your 20k grade 2s and make them a 25k, which means instead of just using a draw trigger to guard, they have to use a crit trigger, which is still a 1-card guard, but it's a different card. So there's that. And then last grade 1 before we get into PGs is this little guy, Swordsman of Twinstance. Twinstance. Is tier. I love them. They're a gorgeous little Jewel Knight type card, but one super easy and good ability, back row rearguard circle. When your rear guard in the same column as this unit is bound by the ability of your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael on his card name, stand this unit. Just really good, because during your big divine skill turn, you're just swinging, boosting, swinging, boosting, swinging, boosting. And it's really, really strong. So then we've got our 4 PGs. Run 1 copy of each one to throw your opponent off, because it's funny. So that being said, we're going to then steal this away and get lastly into the grade 0s. Woo! Psh, 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 psh. You'll never believe what's about to happen. So we got 3 draw triggers plus 1. That makes 4. Wow. We've got 4 heal triggers, 2 crits, 2 more crits, 2 more crits, 1 more crit, and then another crit, but this one's blue and it's also called an over trigger. Wow, isn't that just so crazy? Yeah, not much you can really do. You want to run draws to be able to see your pieces, crits to be able to kill, heals to heal, and specifically you do want Edis Faro. It's, if you're going to hit your OT, being able to choose a card from your drop zone, add it to hand, and then give a crit to something is going to be your best option, because half the time you can just choose to then give Gabuelius a drive check, and so then it's swinging for 1,000,000 power, a critical, and a drive check. So then if your opponent has a PG, you have a chance of hitting like another crit and putting that on your other rear guard. So then I think that was all of the deck profile. We're going to go ahead and get into a quick little combo just so I can show everyone what that's kind of like, just in case you've never played the deck or played against the deck. And so we'll go from there. That's us set up. So let's say you, survived going second. You did this for your first turn, so now he's going to have this set up, and this is going to be your current field setup. We're going to pretend that you're also the luckiest boy in the world, right? So you energy charge, you're up to 9 now because you went you got 1,000,000. So you energy blast 7, and now you got 1 or something like that. And then you draw a card. Oh, you just happen to get the perfect hand. Except, this is happening, whatever. So then you're going to Persona Ride for your turn, draw whatever card. It doesn't matter which one you draw, because you're really looking to try and set up this field. We're going to call a Gabuelius, take him and put him behind Gabuelius. Take your countercharger, put it somewhere on the field, and we're going to play Radiance Caliber. We're going to put it to Soul and countercharge 1. So we're in a pretty good spot, financially. I probably would have used another Soul last turn, so we're going to pretend that's already gone. So looking at our turn, right, this is your second grade 3 turn. You're looking pretty all right. You're going to swing. So this is going to be 8 plus 13, 21, plus Persona Ride, 31, plus 5k because you're at 4 more damage, makes 36, right? And you're going to swing with your Vanguard. Usually I do this first one unboosted to counterblast 1, and we're going to bind him and search our deck for another copy of him, which is pretty cool. And then because a card was bound, stand. And then Gabuelius on place, Soul Blast 1, copy of Liael. We're going to put this up here because we're going to end up using the Divine Skill at the end of the battle to look at the top card of the deck. We're going to put it on the bottom, and we're going to drive check twice. 1, 2, cool. Easy jazz. Also, that was 23k, just a heads up, because I totally didn't say what the number was. Because Liael herself doesn't gain like a ton of power or anything. It's just, Liael being Liael. So then, end of battle that it attacked, we're going to go ahead, Divine Skill, ride 1 from drop zone, drive set to 1. And so then now he's going to gain plus 5k and the ability to countercharge because of where we're now at. So we've got 2 lines of choice with how we can go about it. I think the best way of going about it is to just continue with Gabuelius. If you have more Gabuelius in your deck, but you always have Idiros if you don't. So then we're going to swing. Now this is 23, 31 plus the 5k makes, again, 36. We're getting some crazy numbers in here. Going to do the Vanguard's ability yet again because, well, we can. Counterblast 1, bind, this will stand, and then search deck for another of Yaji because cool. We'll go ahead and Soul Blast out a copy of Liael, bot deck that copy of Liael, and then for her ability give him plus 5k more. Unless you're feeling like you really want to give more power to your Gabuelius, of course you can do that as well. So we're going to Soul Blast 1 and look at the top card of the deck. It's a crit trigger, we'll leave it on top. So this is now 23 plus a 15k booster, so that makes 38. Drive check, critical trigger, all effects here because they're going to probably guard your Vanguard. So we're now on 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, 5. And so this is 36 plus critical trigger makes 56. Counterblast 1 plus an additional 5k and a drive check. So 36, 46, 51 with a drive check. And drive check. Grade 1, no triggers. Of course, there are you have better games and you have worse games. Sometimes your trigger luck is crazy and other times it's not. So then we're going to go ahead and swing it with Idiros to to end the turn. He's going to be 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, plus 5k, 35,000, plus 13 makes 48,000. And then end of battle, Gragaon retires itself and you countercharge 1. So super simple, not super simple, but super informative, kind of stuff. Now you're looking at this and you're hoping maybe if I'm lucky, and this is why they printed a second Liael, maybe if I'm lucky I've got 2 copies of Liael in my hand so I can Persona Ride and also bot deck 2 Gabueliuses. That's just not what's going on. So usually what ends up happening in the late game, you'll end up going ahead and binding more Idiros or her if you're lucky enough to see them, and then you'll end up counterblasting 2 every turn. Sorry about all the squeaking. You'll end up counterblasting 2 every turn because you're going to do 1 for your Vanguard and 1 for Gabuelius, and then if you're going to do your Divine Skill, you're going to do another one because, yay! Everyone's favorite pastime is counterblasting, isn't it? So that's all I really have to say for the deck. I think it's really fun. You get a lot of attacks on your divine skill turn. It's a really fun combo. It has its own defensive utility in the way that this card works, and then Gabuelius is just so cool as a rearguard. So personally, I enjoy the entire deck, and I hope you guys do too. I hope that when we get Draconis, people maybe will understand that this deck can be a force to be reckoned with. And maybe people won't recognize it, or maybe it just won't be a force to be reckoned with, because let's be honest, it's a pretty average kind of deck. It just does a lot of attacks, and the numbers aren't anything too super special, but Draconis has some good stuff. So just hoping for some fun stuff, hoping for the overall vibe of this deck to continue. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate, of course, everything. So have a wonderful day. Peace.